Hey YouTube, this is Otto. Uh, so due to some questions I've gotten on YouTube, um, I'm going to lay down how to build a perimeter with the large walls. I'm going to use a single gate as well, just to throw that in there so you guys can see. It's going to be a mix of several different things. It's going to take some time, guys. You know, get yourself a snack, something to drink, whatever. It's going to be probably an hour or two to get through all this because it's a lot to lay down, and you're going to have to study each part as we go through in order to recreate it yourself. Um, let's see, what else are we going to do? I will explain the parts as we go through it. I'm trying to get through this with hopefully without Atlas crashing. Sometimes, I don't know about your machines, but on mine, Atlas just loves to crash when I start working with these big parts. So I've built huge structures out of these things before, and usually I have to go on low memory mode, helps some. Sometimes no battle eye helps locally, because it will just crash. I've tried it even on multiplayer, it will still crash. Even on official, it will still crash. It's a problem within the game. The game is struggling with, I think it's the vertices, the points of the various parts snapping together in the code, and it just locks up and crashes. So we'll do our best here. Okay, what we're going to build here, guys, is a hexagon. I'm going to build a hexagon, and I'm not going to fill in the roof. You can do that however you want, but when we get that far, I'll explain that. I'm also not going to fill in the center, because this is not going to be a little tiny hexagon. This is going to be a huge hexagon. I've built this in areas and zones before. I've built way bigger. I just don't share them all on the channel. But today I'm going to share this with you guys, and hopefully you can have a lot of fun with it. I've had a lot of fun with it. I kind of wish Atlas would give us more. I'd like different wood styles, different stone styles, maybe even different, time, like time in history, because this is around the time where you have, I know Atlas is with pirates and wood ships and all that, but there are a lot of different groups of people that work with this, like Vikings, and some of the Mongolians and stuff, and even all the way up to Rome, and the Spartans, and there's a lot of time periods in there with groups of people where you could get a variety of parts to work with. Right now, Atlas is still running all vanilla, and they've been running vanilla now for 4 or 5 seasons. I'm lost on what season we're on. I think it's 5, but I could be wrong. I kind of took a break for a time, so okay, let's get on this. Okay. I'll get rid of what I'm pretty sure I don't need. You know, I'm not going to fly around and do this, guys, because I want to do it like I'm doing it from your perspective. Okay, so I want to do it like, not like I'm in creator mode. I'm going to do it like I'm on foot, like we were doing it on official or something like that. And I'm probably going to tear this down, so it doesn't really matter where I put it, as long as it'll fit. That's one thing you got to do is, see here, on PC I press K, and it zooms me out like this. This is not even very good when you're talking about the scale of the project we're working on. What you need to do is make sure that the area you're working on is big enough to hold what you're about to build. Ideally, you want the ground as flat as possible. If you can't get it flat, that's okay. You're just going to have a more complex foundation. Everything is built on the foundation. If the foundation is messed up, you're going to mess up the rest of it somewhere wherever the foundation's broken. So if your ground is not even, okay, it can have some unsubtleties in it, just as long as when you're done with the foundation is even all the way around the entire perimeter. And I will show you that when we get there. Okay, so I'm going to try to point this due south when I start it. I got to check to make sure I'm not too close to that building behind me. I think this will work. We'll point due south and we'll drop them. This is foundation layer 1. You're going to want to orientate yourself. I usually go off of a direction of the compass. If you look on my screen, you can see I'm running a mod that gives me the navigation direction all the time. You have to spec it in your tree. It's on Steam, guys. It's an awesome mod. I love it because it really helps me without doing this 1,000 times, right? Right? This right here, 1,000 times. So, but you do have to spec it. I go over here to the trees. Right there, Master Navigator. You do have to spend a lot of points to get to it, so you have to earn it, right, through your points. And so I love the thing, but you have to spec it. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and turn. Right? Okay. 1, 2, okay, something's in the way. That tree is. And so we are going to lead this away and pop. You done messed with the wrong creator. Okay. And now we will get this. I might have to do this video in 2 parts. It looks like I'm getting hit with text here, so I might have to pull away and cut this short, but we'll do what we can do here. I'll try to get all these uploaded ASAP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And see, there's the problem right there, guys. Look at that. We can't put it there. That's because the ground changed. It's okay. Don't freak out. We're going to back up 1, lay it. I lost my count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now what we're going to check is, could we make these that height? Yes, we can. So the moment you identify that you have to go taller, oh, see, it won't let me put that one taller. See, so what just happened is, when your foundation is uneven, it just made your entire foundation more expensive. Because you have to change the height of the entire foundation now. Okay, it's not fun when this happens, but this is what happens. This is what you get. And you can even start on the high ground if you can find it. Sometimes if your project's smaller, you start on the highest. You always start on the highest ground, guys, and work down. That's how you kind of prevent some of the mistakes, but this one we can't avoid because the ground's uneven. And even if we started on the high ground, we would still end up hitting low ground later and having to stack these. So there's no way to get around this. Just know that this here just made the entire foundation more expensive and time consuming. And you'll understand why when we get it done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and turn. And turn. And that's how you know you did it right, because they line up. Okay, guys, we just created a perimeter. That is what a 10 by 10 hexagon looks like, okay? And so that's pretty big, guys. Really, that is huge. And we are just getting started because you can make this thing massive. Even though the base is 10 by 10, we can go up, 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 right? And so there's a lot here. And now we have to start deciding how do we want to do this. Because you have to decide how you want yours to look visually. Because right now we can make these foundations the same height, right? Or we can leave it low and we can work with it low, but later when we put the walls on it, which is what we're going to have to do, because at some point it has to be level, it's going to look, see, because notice how this looks different. Putting a block in here to level this all the way around looks different than if I put a half wall in here. You guys know what I'm talking about. When you put the half wall in here, let's see if I can, let's go grab a half wall. And like I said, I'm just going to do all of this like I'm on foot and everything, like you guys would be. Okay, let's take those, and now we're encumbered. Yay! Okay, let's just split them. Just so I can show you guys. And I have a plan for mine, and so I'll show you guys that as it that's a wooden gate. Do we have a stone one? No stone. Oh well, having the wall, having the gate there is good. That'll work. Okay, I have a plan for mine, so I'm going to alter this, but I am going to even my foundation. You guys can use walls if you want. You don't have to use foundation blocks. The difference is this versus this. Okay? You can see the difference in visuals. This looks like it belongs with the rest of the blocks. This is just a thin spot, or you can flip it and you can do this. You can make it look like that. It still looks different than the rest of the foundations, and the other differences in here, you get ground space, right? You get floor space here. Where the foundation block went, you don't. I don't need the floor space. We have all that in there, right? So I'm going to even my foundation. So I'm going to make sure my foundation is even all the way around, just like I would in real life. There we go. Okay, let's go get some more. And I don't think, actually I do need a few of these, but I don't need that many. There we go. Okay, hang on a sec, guys. I gotta check these. I'm not here now. I'll be later. I'll give you a call. Okay. Yeah, I got someone coming over, so I'm gonna probably have to break this into two parts because I'm not gonna edit hours and hours just to splice two pieces together. Okay, there we go. Oh, up there. There we go. Okay, see? Now it's all one level. Double check yourself, make sure it all looks good, and you're golden. See, it's all one level. That's what we want. Okay, and now the fun begins. Okay, because what we just did here is we just put down layer 1. Okay, this is the perimeter, but it's not the outer perimeter. This is actually your inner perimeter. Okay? Now I could put a snap wall right here. There's a snap wall, and there's a snap wall. Now what's wrong with that wall? What's wrong with that wall is when I put that huge wall on here, what it's going to do is half the wall is going to be sitting over the foundation. I can barely get up there. Okay. Half the wall is going to be sitting, I'm talking about the large wall, it's going to be sitting on the foundation. The other half is going to be floating in midair. We don't want floating midair, right? That's a great little cubby hole to put an explosive barrel under, right? So now we're going to build the outer wall. And you have to go around the whole perimeter again, guys. Yes, this is huge. It's a lot of pieces. It's a lot of work, but it's pretty sweet when it's done. We're going to bypass corners for now. We're just going to run with the flat part. So you guys could skip ahead if you don't want to watch me just throw down all these blocks, but okay, see, now we run into a problem. That's a problem we gotta fix. Okay, but now we have a problem. Now we have a real problem. And this is why you have to do these preliminaries. You might actually want to run through and do it all with thatch first. Because there's a problem. You can't get through this. Grape Shot was kind enough to give us rocks that we can do nothing with. They sit here and do nothing. You can't hit them. Okay, so anyways, we can't go through that. right? So we'll go to the other side of it and hope that we can put down that. If we can't put it down, guys, the whole thing just got scratched. Because you literally just hit an impasse. But, no, wait. I'm thinking in my head how I'm doing this. No. We're okay on this one. But you guys, it's good that you got to see this. Because you got to see that sometimes, if you're building in the mountains or around them or whatever, sometimes you're going to hit an object you cannot get around. Luckily, our foundation, when we're done, is going to be higher than this rock. We're going to literally put our wall right over top of this rock. So this rock is not going to be a problem. Okay, let's go get some more. But that's why you want to lay down your perimeter first to make sure everything's going to work. If your foundation does not work, you're going to have problems with the rest. It's an absolute. I don't need that right now. They don't need that right now. So we will come back and get that when we get there. So yeah, that's what you need to know right now, is if you have problems with the foundation, you're going to have problems with the rest. I strongly recommend you fix your foundation before you move on. Alright, we're getting there. Alright, now we'll go back and we'll do our corners. Okay, pop that. Just because I'll lay those, I want to make sure they're right later. Those were examples from earlier. We don't need them right now. So let's see what we can get here. It's funny too, because I'm going to build all this, and I'm going to turn around and tear it all down after the video's over. Because this is not where I want this. I already rebuilt my entire base on my other parts up there. It's I can't show it to you guys, but it's a massive resort up there. I like it a lot. But maybe we'll run through it real quick after we get done with this as a little teaser treat. Okay. So now the foundation is even, right? We're even all the way around and we have 2 layers. Okay, now it's time to start placing the snap walls. Okay, we're going to place snap walls, and there's Kaylee up there. She's doing her job. Keeping the perimeter safe. Taking down the little piggies and the birds, and there's tigers around here too. You gotta watch them. I had one jump me yesterday, almost wrecked me and my horse. It was hilarious. Okay, so let's get our snap walls. Okay, we're not gonna need that many, but okay, now what helps me, guys, is I'm actually going to show it to you guys so you guys can learn it too. I don't put these snap walls down blind, so this is why a lot of times when I build, I bring a sprayer with me of a color that I like, so that I can make sure that, and I bring an eraser color. The eraser color is Snow White. That's real. I'm serious. The eraser color is Snow White. I don't need those. I might need that later. Maybe not. We'll see. Snow White erases your coloring from the others and puts the item back to its original color. So that's why I use that. So we got to put down our snaps on our corners. And we want to make sure we identify our corners clearly. Or, well, our angles. That's what I'm calling our corners. Okay, so now your snap points are going to go. Now, you know, you guys can, here I'm pressing E. You guys have a different button on your controller. E flips the wall, but Q pushes the wall to the outside. Okay, this is the center snap point for your wall. So if you put some of these like this, and then you put others like this, And I'm not talking about this, the direction the wall is faced. I'm talking about, see how that's on the right-hand side of the line? And this one here, if I'm faced the same way, that one's on the left-hand side of the line. You want your snap points going the same direction all the way around. If you mess up these snap points, it will mess up your walls. You'll wonder why they're not going together right. Okay, so there I went on the outside of the wall. So here I got to come outside of the wall. Okay, let's go get this other corner. This other part here. If you don't like red, use whatever color you want. You can go back through and erase them later. I just do that so I know where I'm putting my parts. Just outside, guys. Outside. Okay. And I'm going to explain stacking walls, but I'm not going to do it on this one. That's not what this one is for. Okay, outside. Outside. So what if I did that? Oops. That's what this is for. See? Goes right back, and that's what we want. That's why I always bring Snow White with me, too. She covers my back, fixes my mistakes. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, out. And out. And I'm trying to get through this as quick as I can, so I already know it's going to be long. And it could be longer. I can walk you guys through some massive structures. Okay, that's all of them, guys. All the way around. Okay, so I'm going to go knock down these trees so that we can see this without all their leaves and branches all up in the air blocking our line of sight. I tend to create stuff like this as perimeters, and you can do some pretty awesome designs with this. It doesn't have to be octagons. You can do all kinds of types of builds with this. But y'all know how castles are done, how they have the outer wall and the inner wall, and they have the outer sanctuary and the keep, and the inner sanctuary and keep. You can do all that with these pieces. I mean, they can be pretty awesome. And you're using the big pieces, not the little pieces, so you're saving yourself a ton of parts. It only gets super expensive with the little pieces when you start stacking. See there? Look at that beauty up there. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, I built that yesterday. That was pretty fun. I had a good time with that. Okay, so we got some of that knocked down so we can see what we're working with here. Let's see, it still looks like we got a bad foundation over here with that rock in the way, but it's okay because we're going to climb right up over top of that. And I'm about to show you guys how. Now it's time, now that the foundation is even and we have up our snap points, now it's time to decide where you want entrances and exits. Do you want one? Do you want more than one? Do you want different types of entrances? That's what I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm going to put a 2x2 like bear and horse and tiger and lion, the smaller tames. I'm going to put one of those on this wall right here. Right here in the middle because it's right here by the beach area. That's where I want it. Or should I do it on that other back? It doesn't matter as long as it's here so you guys can see it. And then over there on the opposite side, I'm going to put a giant one, a giant gate, right? So let's lay that down. Okay, now here's the thing. How am I going to do this? Oh, I did that wrong. I did that wrong, guys. Sorry, I hate recording the mistakes because then you guys get confused. I don't want you to get confused on the mistakes. What I did wrong is I just told you those snap points we put down are for the final wall, and they would be. So you know what? Let's just simplify this. I'm going to bypass the little entrance for now. I'm going to show you guys just how to do this raw, which is just putting up 5 walls and 1 giant gate. Okay, we're just going to do that on this video and we're going to leave it. Okay, if we want to do anything more than that, we're going to come back to it. Maybe that's what I'll do is I'll just make this the hexagon with 1 gate and 5 big size walls, and then when we start getting fancy later. Okay, so we're going to call this building the hexagon. So we're done with that because we're not stacking. And this one we're not going to stack, and I just decided I'm not going to put the small entrance, because if I put the small entrance, I have to go back and tear up all those snap points, because when you put in a small entrance, your entrance becomes a part of your foundation. It's built into the foundation. You have to finish your entrance and then go back through and raise the entire foundation to the height of the entrance, the top height of it, and even it all the way around, which means using walls. No more foundation pieces. You're going to start using regular walls all the way around. And then once that's done, you put down a ceiling on all those walls, which is the thickness of your entire foundation. Like this here is too wide, okay? And when you're done, then you put in your snap points on top of that wall. And then you run around and drop all your pieces. And so essentially you're building a wall on a wall. Okay, so now let's go, and I hope this doesn't crash. I really, really, really hope this does not crash. That is so annoying. Okay, here's a large one. And let's take 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is just a generic hexagon here, guys, okay? And I keep telling you that because it gets a lot more complicated than this. And in the next part, I will continue this series with this structure. Okay, we will continue this series, and we're going to actually put our big wall over here. Oh, please don't crash. Please don't crash. Okay, see how it snapped right to it? That's because I built the foundation right. Okay, so let's drop that. That is your gate, and it just snapped right to the foundation. Okay. And now we're going to do these. And that's what I was afraid of. See, now that foundation is a problem. Now that rock being in your foundation is a problem. Okay, it's a problem because it's literally blocking. It's literally blocking the piece from going down. So unfortunately, guys, this means we have to tear these up. Because I cannot put this piece down on that level. So now I'm going to go back on what I said. I didn't want to tear them up, sorry, I really didn't, but because of that rock being in the way, you have to. You have to get your foundation up over that rock in order to complete this properly. And so we're not going to put a band-aid on it, we are going to tear these down and then build everything up right over this, and then we're going to come back through and fix the foundation. So we just return back to the original plan, which means I'm coming back over here to we're going back to the original plan, which means building walls, building the small entrance. I'm going to show you guys how to do the small entrance. Because the way I have to modify the foundation, you know what, and I just got tired of there. Now I won't be affected by the weight, but you guys get it. When it comes time to climb and do all that, if I'm doing that in this video, I'll climb and you guys will see it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you're literally building your perimeter wall here. And I'm going to overlay these, but I'm going to come back through and decide where I want the entrance for the bears and horses and your smaller tames. Okay. And you have to do this with the whole foundation all the way around. And you don't have to use solid walls like this. I mean, you can use windows and you can use rails and you can use doorways. You just have to have them the same height. But for me, I don't need all this. I'm not going to do anything fancy on this. You guys want to get fancy with your walls, go for it. I'm just trying to get down the general layout. You guys can get creative with it later. what's important here is that you're getting them all the same height. And because this is all being built, this is technically still the foundation we're building here, guys. And we're going to cover that rock like it didn't even exist. Right? We're going to cut right around that rock. And this is why, in seriousness, you might be worth your time to put down thatch foundations first. Make sure they're going to work, and then go back through and rip them all up and put down your permanent stone ones before you put down your big walls and stuff. The only reason you use thatch is so you can lay it all out as a template and see if it's going to work. I didn't know we were going to run into that rock. So, but the rock got you guys some extra. Okay, so now we're going to start counting these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5. And gone, and gone. Okay. Okay, that is our entrance for our bears and stuff. And so, again, I'm not doing anything fancy here. You guys can do fancy later if you want. I don't usually build any of this like this, but I'm like at an advanced level with all of this, so what do we got here? I need a little bit more foundation over here. We need some more foundation because I don't want the little wall or the little doorway here sticking out and floating in thin air either. I don't like floaters. Now we can put this there. Okay. Right? Let's do that. Let's do that. And let's drop this in. And see, sometimes it does this, and I don't know why. I've had a problem with these before. It's saying it's obstructed by something. So let's clear the general area and see what is in the way. It should not be obstructed by anything. There's nothing really there, but something is obstructing it. It could even be those little bushes or something. I don't know. There, it was that tree. Probably one of the tiny limbs floating in the air is getting in the way. Okay, there we go, guys. That is our entrance for our smaller tames. And you can change it and make it look however you want, but you know that's your door for it, right? Okay. And sometimes, guys, I don't even use giant gates. And the reason being is because you've seen how giant that wall was that we had over there. That thing was huge, right? Way, way, way bigger than we need for elephants or giraffes or any of that. We know a 3x3 will work for those. Well, you can build a medium-sized gate right here and raise your whole foundation to the top of it. And then on top of that, put all your walls. And that's what we're going to do with this. Okay? So now we're going to raise all of this to this height right here. And again, if you want to get fancy, you can get fancy. But that's up to you to get fancy. I'm not getting fancy right now. Technically, this whole thing is probably pretty fancy, but we're not worried about that. If you want to get more fancy. Okay. Alright. We don't need that anymore. We don't need those anymore. We do need those. We are building the Colosseum! I could have a lot of fun building that for real though. Giant hexagon with all the stands and the seats and the entrances, and I can do all of it, man. I can visualize it. Oh. Is that a tiger? I heard a growl. Maybe it was that elephant. I get a little nervous now after getting jumped yesterday. You gotta keep your eye out. Yeah, we'll come back through and fix that. That creativity spot. what we're doing here, guys, is we're raising the entire wall to the height of the other entrance. That's what we're doing. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, we will fix that later, but right now we don't need to. I just wanted to check it out. Oh, can I get up there? Get up there in the shorter side over here. We lost part of our inner over there because of that, but that's, you know, it is what it is. Okay, now we need ceilings. So let's do this and this, because honestly, I don't know how many we're gonna need. I didn't count it up. Alright. Now, I hope we can put these down. Sometimes I forget which one is which. Okay, this one lets you put it down. Okay, good deal. Oop. Okay. Now we gotta get up there. There we go. Look at that scorpion. Looking to cause problems. Okay. Now you're gonna go back through and you're gonna give it. You're creating your outer, or your inner, I should say. Oh, that's wrong. You're creating your foundation still. This is the lower wall of your foundation. That's right. You didn't know we were going to build hollow core, did you? But we are. In a sense, because most foundations are solid all the way through. This one is not. It started on the foundation blocks. We raised the wall all the way up so that we could get a gate underneath it, a small gate for the smaller tames, so that they don't have to go through the jumbo-sized door, right? We also gave ourselves a cavity under here that we can do whatever we want. What I like to do is create perimeter defenses. I like to put guys on pucks and swivels and all that good fun stuff to keep away the baddies, whether it's your enemies or whether it's other wild animals or whatever, you know, to keep the perimeter safe. Okay, now we got to go through. This is our final top of our foundation. This is the final height of our foundation. So we're going to run around and mark these real quick, and then we're going to come back through and drop our snap points. Oh. Well, I bring Snow White with me. There we go. Look at that. Oh, it looks so cool. And then I got this Coliseum down here in my backyard. It's a little bit close to home. I'd like to be a little bit farther away. Okay, so now we can put these down. Pop them on the outside, guys. Outside. 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 Okay. That's already out. Okay. Outside. 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 Okay. There it is, boys. That's our foundation. And the reason the foundation got raised from when it was level on the foundation blocks is because we wanted to put that 2x2 entrance in there for the smaller tames. You could have put a 3x3 in there, but if you do a 3x3, you got to raise all this because a 3x3, actually it's not 3x3, it's 3 wide and 4 tall. So you have to bring the whole foundation up to 4 walls tall, and then put the ceiling on it, this here, and then run through and put your snap points on, and now we are ready. And we're not stacking jumbo walls this time, guys, so I'm not showing you more. If we were going to stack jumbo walls, I would have to run these snap walls up 12 tall. I'd have to climb them and pop them in there, and that's what I brought these for, but we're not going to use them on this because we're not going to stack them. Okay, so I just told you guys how to stack. You put your snap point down on the base, you run them up 12. What I usually do is at the top one, I do this right here, just so I have some flexibility up there on the top of them, and I do that on every single one of them. And then you put in your first one, and then you go up top, climb on top of it, put your snap wall down on top of it. Let's say this is the top of it right here. Put that down, and boom, that's your next snap wall. If you want to stack a third tier, you have to run the second tier, this right here, up 12. And then cap it with your 2 left and right, just so you have that for flexibility if you decide to use that later. You'll find it can be quite handy, and you can't do it after you put down the wall. You have to do it before. That's why you have to put these down first. Okay, and then on and on and on. You can stack them up to 5 or 6 times. And then you hit the limit of the server, and it won't, of the game engine, it doesn't let you go any higher than that. I think it's like 63. So we can build like 6 tiers of those tall. But remember, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And while these look weak, they're actually very strong because they have to hit multiples all the way across. In order for this whole outer foundation to fall, they have to break every single wall, right? So another secret trick you can kind of do, guys, and you can do this if you want. If you want to make your foundation super strong, like maybe you're running on your PvP or whatever, what you can do is put this. I'm just going to show you here. Watch this. Okay, let's say we're going to put these in here. Now watch this. I'm going to pop this. Okay, I think they're already out. I think it's already popped all the way out. I think it is. What you want is you want your walls all the way out. Maybe it won't let me put them there because it has those next to it. Let's see. Maybe I should just save that for another video. I'll just save that for another video. I don't want to compound what we're learning here. Okay, now we can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And we're probably going to need a few more of these, and we're going to need a few of these. If it'll let me carry it, I'll bring it. And then we're going to need one of these right here. And I'm doing all this now on me so I don't have to make multiple trips. I'm hoping it doesn't crash when I put these in. I really, really am. Okay, here we go. Alright, we gotta get back up there. Actually, maybe we don't. Maybe we don't. Maybe we can just go in here and drop these down. Nah, I want to do it from the outside. Let's go up there. Boing! There we go. Now we got to get off the wall because that's where the wall's going to go. This is the wall. This is the side where we're putting the gate, right? Because the opposite side is the little wall. This side's going to be the big one. And I'm hoping, I'm praying that it doesn't crash. What's it doing there? No, that's not what we want. What it's doing is snapping to the underneath wall, the outer wall. It's not snapping to the snap point, and that's not what we want. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to go up there. We're going to go up there, and we're going to get off to the side of it. Maybe we can get this working. No, it's still snapping to the wrong point here. Oh, we had it. Come on, baby. I think that's it. That's a money shot. Okay, we got it. So now, that's what all these are for. You have to build that up so that you can get ramps up there and get your bigger animals. Then you got to build it back down, and you got to do all that. The reason we didn't put that gate at the ground level here is so that the walls would stay even all the way around. It is possible, and I'm not going to teach it this time because it's rather involved, to put this down on the foundations and then build a header above it, okay, with these other blocks. But we're not going to get into that right now. Right now I'm just going to tell you that this is the easier way to do it. Just build this up so you can get in and out. And if you want, guys, you can make the entire inside of this solid. Okay, you can make it solid. You can make all of this filled in and destroy all that nature in there. Fill it in, and then once you fill it in, then you can put your ceiling. You can put a ceiling around this whole thing, and you can raise the whole floor to that height right there. That height right there, the height of your lower foundation walls here. And then you have a solid concrete wall, and you can use this whole area in here for whatever you want. You could leave it actually mostly natural and use pillars to build this out. Start building your ceiling all the way out and use pillars down to the ground, and then you can keep all this for your smaller tames. Well, you got a huge space here for smaller tames. It's completely untouched too because you can leave it natural. So it's whatever you want, guys. You know what I'm saying? You could be as creative as you want with this. Okay, so we are going to, just so I don't have to do this every time, I'm just going to throw something down real temp-like. Right. There. That'll at least get me to it. And that's temp, guys. I just put that there so I could walk up here and I didn't have to grapple up every time. Okay, now it's time to run over here. And that tree might get in the way. We might have to chop down that tree. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now I gotta check to make sure it's pointed out. That's the crown out, right? Okay. Oh, that's wrong. It crowned out off of that outer wall, not off that. It used the wrong snap point. Come on, baby, get on the right snap point. Okay, with your crown, you want the green arrow. When you're on the back side of the wall, you want the green arrow to the left. There, now it snapped to the right point. See there? That's what we wanted. Okay, now let's come over here. And I just lost the use of that because I'm going to cover the whole thing with the wall. Okay, and green arrow to the left. And let's check it. There it is. Alright, green arrow to the left. There it is. I know it snapped to the wall because I can see it right here. Snapped right down the center of the wall. So that's correct. Right. Alright, green arrow to the left. There it is. Right. Okay. And I'm going to hide in this little hole here. Try to get this up. See if it'll snap in. No, come on, baby. Is that it? That it? Okay. Oh. That's it. Green arrow to the left. There she is, guys. Sneak around the outer edge there. There it is, guys. This is your paradise. Right? You can do whatever you want with this. You could probably, if you wanted to, guys, you could make this your little tame entrance too. And what you do is you build You build this a lot of ways. What you do is you hide the doorway underneath your ramps for your big door. And then what they do is they come in from the sides, and then they come in through the other door so that both doors are on the same side. And it's easier right now to change this one than it is the other one, because the other one's buried underneath that wall over there. I could literally sit here all day and just talk about designs that you could do with this, but they're all very creative, they're all unique, they're all a lot of fun. See, here's the problem with this. If you take this out, it might, it's not a guarantee, you might not be able to put it back in because it might say there's a collision with that upper wall, right? And so what you could do though is tear this gate down, this big wall here, put a gate there, tear that gate down back there, put a big wall there, and then what you do is you build this so that these ramps come up the sides, and then you put your ramps above it. You put your ramps above it so that you can go up the ramps to go into the big gate, but then go around the sides and into the small gate so they're both on the same side and you're not wasting space on both sides. Okay, and you still get your paradise in here, which I think is pretty awesome because I love building these like this. Now I want to show you something here that I didn't get into. She done ticked off the elephant. Okay. So the one puck gun is just not enough for an elephant. But this is what I want to show you. You see this right here, guys? And now, for the most part, guys, learning how to build this is over. Okay? I just taught you how to do your hexagon, how to use a base foundation, a raised, that's what this is. That's what these walls are. This is a raised foundation, right? And then how to place your large walls. These are wood ones. I like the wood ones because they have a lot of paint points that you can get really creative, and they're really nice with your paint points on the wood ones. The stone ones, the paint points, they're very poor. Okay, the paint doesn't show up super good, and you don't get as many fancy paint points and as clear, as vivid, and the contrast isn't as good as you do on the wood ones. And so you learned how to work with the gates. You learned how to put in an embedded gate in a raised foundation. That's what these walls are here. It's the raised foundation. And you also learned how to put in your gate so that it snaps in just like all your walls. How to make your paradise. I talked to you about how to do your floor with pillars so that you can make this completely hidden paradise that is only, you can only enter it here with this door. And then when you go up the ramps, you go up there, you're walking on the floor up there, and then you can build your whole base. Whatever you can put an entire org of several hundred in a base this size. Okay, and this is actually the small one. I've built way bigger. But yeah, this is a great starting point. Okay, so now I'm going to fly, now that I showed you all that, and I want to show you some points here. Look at this. Look at this infiltration point. You got your enemies that can come through. Oh, they can't get through there now? I used to be able to get through there. Well, still, you don't want to be able to shoot through there, right? You could have a ninja come up your wall, scale your wall, come in here, pull out his rifle, pop, and pop you in there. Kill your tames down below and kill you up above, and we don't want that. So what's the fix? This is the fix. Let's see if I get on the ground. See that? Ooh. I'm popping them out. That's why it's taking me a second. I'm trying to get them to pop out. Not like that. There we go. Okay, that's out. Okay, watch this. But I'm going to show you there's a problem with this. It's like, oh, cool, look, it let us put the walls on, right? That's really great. No, watch. This is why you have to build these before you put in your walls. You have to build your walls one by one. And this is why. Right here. Look at that. Won't let you put down your floor. And that's important if you want this to be seamless all the way around, right? For your guys to be able to scale the wall and run your cannons and your puck guns up here because you're defending your fortress, right? And so what you do is, guys, before you place the walls, okay, you built the whole foundation up. You put in your little door here for your little tames. You elevated your walls, if this is the option you decide, right? You elevated your foundation. You put your ceiling down. You put down your snap walls. Now you stop. Now on top of all your snap walls, you build them. Now this is the snap wall right here. but your wall going out is perpendicular. That means 90 degrees too, okay? It's perpendicular to your snap point, and you got to build those all the way up 12 tall, okay? And it's 1 thick. You can go 2 if you want. You can do that right there if you want. You can go 2 deep and make this corner hollow if you want, or put something in it if you want. It's totally up to you. But what's important is once you get to the top of your 12, you'll put down your floor, okay? So we're going to pop these out for a moment, and I'm going to show you. Okay, we don't care about it being double. We're going to drop this. See that there? Okay, now we're going to pop this, pop it, pop it, pop it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to come back through. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and you only need to do 1 leg because the other one you can build up manually after the wall's already in. This is the bonus part, guys. Have any more of those on me? No. And you can do all this with off the ground. It just takes longer. For those of you that just wanted to learn the other part, you know, you can pretty much end the video. Like, subscribe, share, keep your comments civil, questions or comments. But for those hanging around for the extras, that's cool. We're going to drop down these extensions on your snap points. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay. And in fact, we're going to pop the gate out of the way too, because even the gate is in the way, because we have to put these out. There we go. There we go. Start that one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And boom, 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 boom. Okay. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you only have to do 1 leg. You don't have to do both legs because you can finish the other leg once you put your walls back in, right? So let's go over here and let's get let's pop that out. We're going to use that. Let's pop that out. Alright, and it's just as much fun to get these in. This time though, guys, we're going to throw, we are going to put the gates here. They can be a bit of a trick to get in here. Okay, that's what we want right there. I can tell because it was cutting down the center of it. Okay, that's what we want on the gate, because we decided we're going to put the gate and we're going to put the mini entrance on the same side, because I'm going to embed this in the floor of the ramps. You're never even going to see it from above the ramps, and we're going to use that for the second story. Okay, and let's come over here and hopefully drop this wall in without a crash. Alright, and we want the arrow going to the left so that the crown is out. There it is. And I'm going to show you what that looks like when we get all these in. If this doesn't, I hope this doesn't crash. Sometimes it doesn't like me. Alright, and then I want the arrow going away from me. The red arrow pointing out. The red arrow points in the direction of your crown, guys, if that helps you more. Alright, there it is. Alright. And again, you can do all this on foot. It just takes longer. And don't worry if you crash a few times. Just log back in and go back to work. Sometimes it'll crash, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, now let's check something here. Okay, one. Okay, that's what I thought. It's not letting me put these across here. Now this could be a gate problem, and it could also be a there's a chance if I pop this gate out and put that ceiling across there and then try to put the gate back in, it's going to say the gate is blocked and it won't let me put it in, but we're going to find out. Let's just find out, right? Okay, let's try to put these across. I don't know if it's going to let me do this. You may or not be able to do this on official. If not, you'll have to figure out another way to get across there. It's been a minute since I've worked with these like this on official. I think that's right. So we're going to drop it. Okay, so it let me put that down. However, I didn't finish the back. I don't know if I don't know if official is going to let you go out that far. It might, because you have technically you have connection to your foundation right here. And that would be 1 right there, 2, 3, 4. Alright, gotta go get more. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5, 6. I think official lets you come out 6, maybe. Maybe it's, I mean, without, when you're over top of a foundation. It might only be 3, so you might only be able to come out part way here, guys. I do not recall, but that's what we're getting right now. You guys will have to play with the gate. I don't usually use the big gate because I think it's a little ridiculous compared to everything else we can use, right? I mean, I could have just built this up 4 tall and it would have let giraffes and you know, stuff like that in, giraffes and elephants and all that. You don't need this jumbo gate. However, I've also made this out several tiers on palaces before and put doors in there and put gunmen in between the doors so that when someone tried to sneak through into your base with the doors open, they would get obliterated by all the gunmen. It was pretty cool. But now you guys can see here. Look at this. Whee! See? It's seamless all the way around. Now you can put all your guns up here, your pucks and your cannons and anything else you know. Probably not swivel guns, probably pucks and cannons. And you can have an awesome time with it. But also remember this. I'm not going to do it, but look at this right here. Oh, look, I can't put the floor there. I can't extend it. So if I can't extend it, how am I going to put a roof on all this? That is for either a different video or you guys to figure it out. Or do it on your own. The way you do it, guys, is you build up your leg here, right? Your snap leg, we'll call it. Build it up. Put your triangle piece on. Do that all the way around. And then you come back through and you drop all your floors. Okay? True floors all the way across, and you connect these points. And then what you did is you just built a subframe, an infrastructure like a skyscraper has for its steel I-beams inside it. You just built one, a picture frame, and then you put your wall right in the middle of it. Make sure it snaps to the right points down below, pop it in, and boom, it's there. Then you have a wall all the way across here. A floor all the way across. And then a floor all the way across here, and here, and here, and here. And why would you want that? And here. Why would you want that? Well, you'd want that because if you want to put a roof on this whole thing and use this too, and then what you'll find is as you... Well, where's that at? Where's that structure at? There's one of these we did all the way. This one. Notice how we have these here sticking here. Let's put that there. Then let's come up here. We can put that there, like that, and like that, that, and that. See, we're bringing the corners together, right? Now you can come down here. We know it's 12, right? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There it is. That's what we wanted. What do we got here? Once you get your floors up here, let's do this, because you're going to have these on the inside. Yeah, because your floor would connect all the way out to there. Okay, once you get that done, what you can do is you can do this, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And now you can start building these all the way around the entire perimeter, and you can, from the top down, you can put a middle floor. And so now you have 2 floors. You have this floor, which is your main big area where you come in with your elephants and giraffes and whatever. And then you also have, you come up to this center point here, somewhere around this brace right here, and you build this all the way around and fill it all in, and now you have a second floor. And you come up here and you do it again, and now you have your third floor. Each floor is 6 tiers tall, 6 regular walls tall. 1, 2, and once this floor is down, 3. And now you are ready to stack and put the next tier on, if you want. But I usually don't start these 10 by 10. I usually start these out a lot farther, like way out here. So it's a huge hexagon, huge, and then you stack them in. And these corners get a whole lot bigger. And then you need a whole lot more piece counts, and now I'm talking about how to expand and jig them into huge things. But you can tell by this corner, see how the corner's getting filled in? You can do that with all of them, all 6 corners, so that there's no way to see inside your keep at all, right? And then when you get over here, it's up to you how you do this. You can put this like that. See? I should show you guys some of my pictures of some of the stuff I've built. I'm not going to explain it all, but I could definitely show you the pictures of it all. What do we got here? Okay, we're out of stone walls, so we're gonna pick some up here with this right here. Oh, remember. Okay, let's get back over here so I can show you this. I thought I just picked out walls. Try again. Okay. But this is also why the devs should be giving us bigger pieces that complete the rest of their big piece set. So we don't have to do, oh, we don't need that anymore. So we don't have to do all these extra pieces. We need corner inserts, right? We need corner inserts. So that's how you do your corner. Okay, that's what I'm going to call it, a corner. As far as a hexagon's corner goes, that's what it looks like. See? And if you make this cornered all the way down, it's going to look like this. And you're not going to be able to get into the corner. You're not even going to see it. But I have built some of them where you actually use that space inside there, and you can even put a door to get into there. It just really depends on how you do it. You can even knock this out right here. Okay, you can knock that out right there and then put yourself a ladder right here and get into this corner. It's really up to you. Right? And so, but when I did it, my corners weren't little like that. Mine were huge. That was the corner inside, and these are actually staggered apart. They were 2, 3 of these apart, right, going all the way across apart, so that I could put a door on the middle one, and that was the gap in between this wall to this wall. And so it's very complex design, but that's what your corners look like, guys, right? And what's cool about this is, in a PvP setup, if someone knocks out your big wall, big deal. You can drop another big wall in there, right? You can drop another big wall in there, and it fixes all those pieces. Because this is 12 by 10. That's 120 pieces it saves you. That's just in the face, not even behind it. The problem is that's also 120,000 HP worth of little walls. And in order to take down a little wall like this, you have to hit every one of the base pieces and all the connecting pieces in order for the whole wall to crumble. So you would have to take out all the bottom pieces here, all the pieces along this side, all the pieces along this side, and all the pieces across the top. So we're talking about 10, 20, 30, 40, 2, and 2. 44 pieces. That's 4,400 HP you have to take out with precision, because you have to hit those ones and not all the others, in order to crumble this wall. And this only has 24, I think it's 24,000. Yeah, I think it's 24,000 HP. Yeah, it's got 24,000, which is very small for a wall that huge. Like I said, I think they should have 100, 150,000, because that's really what's embedded in them. That wall right there is 120 pieces. That's 120,000 HP of the regular walls. So there you go, guys. You just learned how to, a lot of stuff. You even learned how to fill in your corners, and make sure you do your corners and your cover-ups and your ceilings up here, across here, and across there, all the way around before you put in your wall. You put in your wall last. And once you get all that done, now you're looking at this. And once you get those done, if you look here, your walls are going to be out that far. So you're going to have your outer wall to connect these pieces to. The inside has to be these pieces all the way around, guys. It's a lot of pieces, right? Look at this. It is a lot of pieces. Look at those, all those triangles. And I just did one part. And the reason it lets me do that is because there's foundation down there, and it's within 3. And so it will let me do that all the way around. And as long as you keep them within your foundation pieces, you can fill this whole center. You might have to drop down foundation legs, but if you do, I recommend you build from the ground up here, which means do this story here first, right here. Fill this one in first, and decide where you're going to put down your foundation poles, and then mark them with paint. Wherever you had to, actually you can't do that anymore, can you? I just remembered you can't put down foundation poles in triangles. Foundation poles have to go in squares now. But that's okay. You can build this with squares too. You can do this in a square design. You can do rectangular. You can do hexagon, octagon, pentagons. I mean, like, you name the number of sides you can do it with. It just gets bigger and bigger because these are your pieces. Your pieces are always 10 long. Okay, so it can get massive. But I hope you guys had fun with this. Hope you learned a lot. You can go wild with creativity with this stuff. Alright, so that's going to conclude building a hexagon out of the large pieces. How to lay your foundation. Right here we covered the foundation. We covered a raised foundation. We covered an embedded gate, right, the small gate. We covered putting the foundation ceiling on all the way around. We covered putting in your snap points. We covered raising your snap points all the way up and putting your connecting ceilings in all the way around. We covered putting your wall inserts in and your gates. And I talked about a lot of other miscellaneous creative ideas that you guys could work with. Just as a summary of all that. Okay, now I'm going to run over here. I'll show you guys this real quick. Something I have fun building. I've been working with, I usually only build everything out of stone. Like when I'm an official, I build everything out of stone. Because you know, you build out of stone if you want it to last. Although I will say, even if I was on PvE, I would use the wooden walls. The wooden walls have way better paint options. I wish I could have showed you guys those now, but I'm just, I'm going to grab a paintbrush actually. I'm just going to show it to you guys real quick. Just so you guys can see your paint options. Because the paint options, honestly, the paint options on the wood are superior to the paint options on the stone. And so let's go check those out real quick. And you'll see what I'm talking about. And once you learn the colors, once you learn the regions, look at that. And look how vivid that is. It's not so cool on the stone ones. Okay? That is actually coming through on the back side. Look at that. That's on the back side, guys. It doesn't come through on the front side. Right? It comes through on the back side. I love that. It's like putting an Oreo in there. Pretty cool. Okay, here's 3. There's your part of your crown. Right? Let's make the crown red. Here's that region. Look at that. Look how cool is that. You can have so much fun with these regions on these wooden walls. the paint regions that they give you. There's an embedded red behind. There's your mains. So now you've got, where's that at? Okay, 4 is your cross beams, right? Your cross beams there, and part of your lower crown. 5 is your behind all your cross beams, right? And your slanted pieces, supports in the backside. And 6 is your vertical cross beam points and the other part of your crown. The top part of your crown is in 3. And so there's lots of regions. You can have like crazy fun with these regions, right? You can't do all that on the stone. I wish they would fix that. Maybe that'd be a great treat they could do for maybe by Christmas or whatever. Give us better paint regions on the stone ones. The stone ones are pretty lame, guys. I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty lame. Here's the gate. But notice the gate already only gives you 3 regions. 3 regions is what you get with the gate. And did you see how flat that color looked? That's black. You can barely even see it. It's so faint. They need to make the color more vivid on the stone. It's so poor. The color on the, you just seen it on the wood, was way better. This is what the color is like on the other stone, on the stone walls. The big stone walls. It's so flat. It's so dead. And so I use the wood where I can because the wood coloring is awesome. It really, really is. I will say this though, these on the regular walls, once you learn the regions, you can use sprayers, guys. You don't have to do it all with a paintbrush. You use a sprayer, use a grappling hook, and or ladders or whatever you're going to use. Make temporary scaffolding with thatch and run around and paint it all. But these look pretty good when they're painted. These cross beams, sometimes we'll paint them gold or something like that. Like I'll show you this one here in red, and you can see it. I see that. That's pretty vivid. You can do that with gold or purple or pinks or reds or blues or greens or oranges or whatever you want. But you can do that across all of them, every one of them. And sometimes that's what I do. I'll run around and paint them, and they look really, really cool. So there you go. You got a little bit of a work around with the paint. Once you identify the region and the color you want it, use a sprayer, guys. You can literally just run along the wall, click the region you want with the sprayer, and click the wall, the big wall, and it'll make the whole thing that color. So you don't have to run around and paint the whole thing with a brush, which is really, really nice. Okay, so that part's over. So this is what I started with on this island, which I really like. I think it's kind of quaint. For some reason, though, these are not working on single player. The resource, the silos, they don't work. They don't feed the crew. They don't give you gold. They're broken, which is not cool. Because a lot of people get their intro to Atlas in single player. I know guys right now that are playing through the Blackwoods single player campaign, and if you run into problems there, it kind of carries over. You're like, I don't really want to play multiplayer. I mean, it was so broken single player. Well, right now these silos deals are not working, and I'm not in a lawless region. I'm in E1. This isn't a lawless region. They should work. They're not working. So I have to keep these. I have to keep troughs, and I have to keep resource bins with gold in them around in order to pay my crew, because I got Kaylee up there protecting the place. So anyhow, this is a 3x3 wood shop, which I like. It's real simple. It's quaint. I like it. It's very, very utility focused. And then I use a little wall piece to stick those out there. And then I come in here, and you can see it from top down. This is a 3x3. That over there that we just built, that giant one, that was a 10x10. This is what a 3x3 looks like. And so what I did is I built a perimeter first, which is lay 3, turn, lay 3, turn, lay 3, turn. And you can see that the 3, it's all done with, your 3 are squares. Lay 3 squares, turn means lay 1 triangle. So 3 squares, 1 triangle. 3 squares, 1 triangle, 3 squares, 1 triangle, 3 squares, 1 triangle, 3 squares, 1 triangle, 3 squares, 1 triangle. That just created your entire hexagon. I'll do that a lot. You can do it with a 1 by hexagon, which means you've only got 1 square, which is square, triangle, square, triangle, square, triangle, square, triangle, square, triangle, square, triangle. or you can do it by a 2x2. You can go 2 squares, 1 triangle, 2 squares, 1 triangle, 2 squares, 1 triangle. What you're doing is creating your outer perimeter, and your inner perimeter is always filled in with triangles at that point. You can't fill it with squares. They don't work out. You have to use triangles. But you can go 1 by hexagon, 2 by hexagon, 3 by hexagon, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've made them 20, 30 by hexagons. Massive, massive hexagons. But I like them because then you can put all your stuff, when you're just a smaller setup like this, you know, you're only running a couple guys, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys, you can do it like this. And there's my smelter with plenty of room for storage and everything here. This is the kitchen. The kitchen is jam-packed, but it works good because on this island we have every single food you can get on this island in these bags. Every single one of them. There is a different food in every bag here. There's your containers. We got dual ovens because we get really busy cooking. And they've got salt in them too because the island I'm on's got salt, you know, want to keep it preserved. And then here's your tanner, which actually in the future, it's actually what brought me to building that monstrosity up there. This is going to be the kitchen side now. I'm going to move this tanner side over to where the kitchen's at now and then move the kitchen over here because this side has more room and I need more room for the kitchen. You guys know how kitchens are. If you've ever built a kitchen, ask someone, ask a builder. If you got a builder in your life, ask them how expensive kitchens are. They're crazy, right? 30, 40, 50, 60 plus $1,000 in a kitchen. So y'all understand when I say we need more room for the kitchen. Okay, so and then over here we have the loom and plenty of storage here. So I really like this setup, and there's the bed for spawning in and stuff. And so I built that, and I actually had a whole thing sitting over here of, you know, like a Western, where you have the rails and then you tie your lead rope off with your horse or your bull or your cow or your lion or tiger. Well, that worked good for a while, and then I realized my kitchen was too small. I kept running into problems. And then I was like, you know what? Callie Cruikshank, she came on and she was like, we started talking and then I started checking this out and I was like, man, I could rebuild this up on that huge mountain right there next to us and get out of this center area. I wanted to clear the center area because over there is going to be the dock. And I was like, I want to be a clear shot to the dock. I want to clear all this out. And so, of course, I'm going to remove the Coliseum. The Coliseum's going somewhere else. That's what I'm going to call that right now. That's the Coliseum. That's the baby Coliseum. I can go way bigger, and I can put the seating in there and everything. It's crazy. So I rebuilt this, and this is going to be our new base, and that's getting all ripped out right there. And then we got to work on the docks. But, and I plan to make you guys a video on the naval. I made a huge naval shipyard. You guys will like it. It's got tons of brigs in it and galleons, and I've rebuilt and worked with all of them, and so I plan to do something like this out there. It's just not done yet. So this is our little Western hang up for our lead ropes for our horses and cows and stuff like that. And there's the trough. Here's where you get your saddles and stuff, you know. And over here is where we put our wild animals or people that are bad. We put them in cages because they were bad. They went to jail. And so, so these work really good. This is where you bring your stuff in and you leave it because you know you're going to be using it more that day. Right, it's up here. It's safe enough. I'm not done because I do plan to put a putt gun right up there on that rock, and then another putt gun platform up here on this rock here, and those are going to be the puckers to protect down here from the mostly snakes and cobras and some tigers and stuff come through here, and just the different predators. Yeah, they don't like the pigs either. I wish you could select which animals to kill, because I would think a crewman would be smart enough to know, that's a pig, don't shoot it. Oh, that's an elephant, don't shoot it. Oh, that's a tiger, shoot it. I wish we could select specific animals, because our crewmen are intelligent enough to identify animals. At least mine are. They're just crippled right now, because for some reason they're brain dead. So I put light poles in here, which are really nice. And so we built this up. I like this pattern here on the wood. It looks so much more like a crafted wood versus this garbage back here that looks like, you know what it looks like? It looks like what they use like down in Florida and Mexico and different places in hot weather, stucco. They cover concrete and stuff with it, and then they just paint it. It looks horrible until it's painted, and that is not painted. That looks like garbage. But I love this winter wood look. I wish we had more palette for the wood designs. I wish they'd give us more wood designs instead of just thatch, wood, and stone. I wish they would give us wood and, oh, here's a half a dozen or a dozen wood designs you can use with it. So we went 3 wide because elephants will fit on 3 wide. Open rails because of a beautiful view, but also rails for safety. You get up here, and then you get to see all that right there. Right? So now you can see the Coliseum we just laid down. And then we come up here and around the corner. And open rails all the way because you want to take in this vista, right? And then we come in here, and this is our overnight spot for our tames, right? This is where they sit, and they just hang out. And this is a 5x5. Now, what's important to recognize is when you're doing a 3x3, you don't need anything under it to fill it. It'll fill on its own. I think you can even maybe do a 4x4 without filler. But if you look here, I had to put this under here in order to get the foundation underneath it so I could fill it, because there was a big hole in the middle I couldn't fill. So what you do is you connect it here. It has to be connected to the main foundation, and then you run it underneath the area that you need it, and it all has to be connected back to the foundation, right? So that's what I did. I used foundation blocks because every one of these blocks is classified as a foundation as long as it's tied in to the main foundation, which was here. That's the way the code works. And so that enabled me to fill this all in, and this is where we put our giraffes and our elephants and our tigers and our bears, and this is our permanent storage. This down here is temp storage. And if I have to go bigger, I can go bigger. But this is what we're using for now. And we like it. It's all open rails because this was all the way down to the ground because it's got a beautiful vista. And we love that. And this vista here, we love that too. And so this is where we put these guys. Then we come up here. And the reason I brought this up to here, 3x3, so you could bring a tame all the way up here and throw your supplies out onto the ground. And then you could bring them in here. And this here, down there, is, if you look, this right here, this wood shop, we're going to call this the craftsman shop here. It's a 3x3. A square, not hexagon, or yeah, hexagon. It's a 3x3, 1, 2, 3x3. And it fit everything. It worked pretty good. It was a great entrance to put the kitchen and all that stuff on the back side. It worked out really, really well. I like it. And we made the front end here stone because the animals were tearing up the wood. So it's getting a little wild out here with the wild animals, so we had to make it stone so it didn't get tore up every day. So, but up here, we went 3x3, but it's 3x3 in a hexagon instead of 3x3 in a square. So this is a 3x3 in a square with a raised lofted ceiling for design, interior decorating. You know how those raised roofs look awesome. We went with a stone cap, the 4th layer stone all the way around. These are great selling points. I'm going to tell our realtor all about it. That's an extra piece, don't need. So our realtor told us that this would be a really great selling point. So we went stone cap. We raised the lofted ceiling. It's a 2-part loft. Here we got this, and then we got this part in the middle there, and then we got the very peak right here, which really opens up this is the wood shop right in here, the craftsman shop, and that's what that little 3x3 down there was. But we went bigger here. We have all this room for our craftsman shop now. We're really looking forward to moving in here. We haven't moved in yet. And then we just got the construction done. We got all the permits taken care of, all the inspections. You guys know, contractors in here working their butts off. And we got all that built. Now this one we went different with the ceiling. Realtor said this was going to be, our interior decorator and our architect said this is going to be really cool. We didn't go with the lofted in the center. We dropped it down so it looked like a point right there on that wall. Because as usual, this is where our smithy is. But actually, I think we're going to put our kitchen on this one this time. And over here is going to be, this is where our tanner is going to go. And then over here, this is where our smithy is going to go. And then over here, this is where the what's that other one called? Right there, the loom. This is where the loom spot's going to be. And then if we come back over here, okay, I get lost in here. And then you come in here. This is one of our condos. We don't know if we're going to separate this into 1 or 2 guild members per room. We actually blueprinted this design offline so that we could turn around and build it online. So this is a blueprint of what we intend to build. And so what we did here is we could put 2 or 3 guild members in here per room. 1, 2, 3 balconies, so maybe 3 members in here. There's plenty of room to build and design however they decide to fit. Think about it like a condo or a dorm room or however you want, high-end luxury one. But again, we dropped down the center. We lofted the ceiling. We dropped down the center for design. It's kind of like, think like the bottom end of a diamond sitting right there. And you can paint all that. You can paint those stone vertical lines coming down here in between the wood. Those can be painted. So you can get really creative in here with your coloring, which is really, really cool. We're looking forward to that. And look at this view. Look at that view. It's gorgeous. And we got 3 of them. We got 1 for each member that'll be in here. And there's your neighbor over there, just like at a resort or whatever. You know, at a condo, if you're living in a condo, there's your neighbor. And so we really like this setup. It's gorgeous. It's very high end. We do intend, we talked to our contractor, he's going to go back through and pull out the base foundation poles that are holding this up and make them stone so that the critters don't, you know, termites get in there and they chew away at the wood, and the next thing you know, you got a condo falling off the edge of a mountain because of termites, right? So we built all that. We come over here to the other room. All the rooms are built the same. And you can see your neighbor over there if you want, but this is only partly. If you don't want this option, our contractor said we could fill this in so you're not looking at your neighbor, but you still get your open balcony, right? And even if you want this rail removed, maybe you don't have children, you're not worried about the rail, you can get the rail removed, you can get that extended out if you want, and you can get a balcony put out there. So he said he'd be willing to do that. It just costs a little extra. But gorgeous vistas. Look at these views. Oh my gosh, look at that. People sailing across this view. Looks beautiful. Palm trees down there. Woo! This is high-end living. Back here, you don't get the same view you get there, but you still get a great view. You get a lot of nature down there. Might have to do some clean out some of those trees so we can see down to the ground a little bit better. I know there's lots of critters down in there. We almost built on that mountainside over there, but we're not really sure what we're going to do over there yet. But so that's this room here. And when you get done, guys, in all, we have 5 of these rooms. They're all built identical with the drop-down ceilings. We still got to come in and paint. Our paint contractor hasn't showed up yet, but we're still working on it. And we still got to talk to the guys, too, and come in and see if they want to modify their rooms any. Get our contractors in here and pop out these rails maybe and put some balconies out there or whatever they decide. But there's 5 of them, and they go around the central hub of the entire place, which is, you know, if anyone needs to use the kitchen, there's tons of kitchen space in here. This is way more space than that other kitchen, which I'm loving, right? And then you got your tanner, you know, and your smithy. Tons of space for the smithy. Heck, we may even put the tanner here and the loom here and put the smithy over here on one of the sides, or maybe even have double smithies, because, you know, sometimes those smithies get busy. Y'all know what I'm talking about, and those smithies are slow. So, okay. What do we got here? So let's come down here. Out here and jump and look. Now let's get the aerial of it. Alright, that's it. That's what we built there. And I could make that tame area for the tames 2 to 3 times bigger than that if we need to. If we need to go much bigger, we can go bigger. Because there's a lot of rock underneath us here still. And if it's this rock or another rock, it doesn't matter, because I can take this design and drop it on any mountaintop. So it's a gorgeous design, a lot of fun. We can put 3 members in each one, so that is, we have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so you can put 15 of your main members in there, and then you can create probably a whole nother sub area. We could probably pop off the door here. We could make a door in the wood shop here and have it drop down and put some of the lower end condos across this whole side here. If we wanted to keep using this rock, although we might tell the rest of our members to come over here. Yeah, and we could build condos all the way across the top of this whole mountain. We almost started it on here, but we didn't. We almost did, but I was like, you know what, let's just build it on here, let's see how it turns out, and if we need more, and we'll talk to the guys and stuff and see if we need more. If this isn't going to be big enough for us, then we'll bounce over to that other one, we'll expand it out where we need it, we'll make the changes. But look, we upgraded from that, which I really enjoyed. It was a lot of fun, but it was way too small. Kept running into each other and running out of space and not having enough room. And those smithies are really, I'm sorry, not the smithies, these here. the forges are way, 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 way slow, so you really need to have multiple forges. There's a lot of rock there left, so. But yeah, that's what we upgraded from that little thing there up to this right here. And maybe we'll see if we can build a real size Coliseum. It won't go there though if we end up using an island like this. I can do this on any island. It doesn't matter what the island looks like. I can do these anywhere. But I'd like to have a real Coliseum, but I'd like to put it someplace that's maybe over here. I like to build the Coliseum in a big wide open spot like this because that's a 10 by 10 over here that we just built. But look at all that space. I could fit a 20 by 20 or 30 by 30 in here and then fill out all the chairs, put down all the seats. Imagine filling it up with all your chairs all the way around it, having your separate gates for your lions and your gladiators and stuff coming in there. That could be fun. Your competitors coming in there. Yeah, this is only a 10 by 10. It's very small because you would have to build this down at an angle in order to put your seats in. And then by the time you do that, you've only got this little square in the middle for your Coliseum. It's not big enough. So I'm thinking of like a 30 by 30. This is 10. When I say a 30 by 30, I mean this leg that you're seeing, the length of the wall, it's not 10, it's 30. And you have to go in increments of 10 because that's the size of your walls. So it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I've never done one that big. I think the biggest I've done was like maybe 40. Somewhere between 40 by 40 and 50 by 50. That takes a lot of room though. You have to have an island that can support it. But I think something like this over here, we could potentially put the Coliseum there and build the chairs all down and have separate entrances. It could be wild, man. You could have an awesome time with it if you could come in and figure out a way to get your competitors to go in and compete with each other. You could do that in the PvP. People would pay in to come in, dock, maybe put down some gold wages, have some fun with it. But anyways, this is our little paradise right now. We call it the Baby Coliseum. And we still got to move everything out. We got a lot of stuff in here to move out and to move up there and get it situated. But alright guys, I know this was off point, but I wanted to share it with you. I could show you the shipyard, but I was going to do that in a different video too. I haven't got to it. I intend to have a whole shipyard out there, and I'd like to do something like this on the PvP, but let's be honest, if you have something like that out there in PvP, unless you're running a couple hundred people that are always running around, it's going to get like terrorized. So maybe I'll end up building it on PvP if I can get into a group that's big enough, or PvE. I could have some fun with it on the PvE server too. But I'll have to show you the naval yard. It's big. There's a lot of ships in it that have all been custom built, including some galleons in there, guys. We threw in some galleons. We started working on some galleon designs. I know I don't throw out a lot of those, but I did do some galleon designs, so they're sitting there. Alright, y'all. If you have any questions, drop them down below about any of this, because I did kind of expand on it. I gave you the last 10, 15, 20 minutes of it as a bonus footage of our... This is Shark Island Resort. That is what this island is called, for a Shark Island Resort, because we are C.T.S. And so this is where we intend to put down out of the way so that other people can still come in. And we'll see about next season. Maybe we'll see about if we can... If you guys are interested in joining up, getting on same islands, you know, give a shout out. I don't know if we're going to be doing PvP yet. And I say that because the lag on the PvP server, guys, is murder. Okay, it's ruining the game. It's ruining the entire experience. But on PvE, the lag is rough too, but it's not on every grid. It's only on some grids. And we're thinking if we decided to lay down and claim up an island, we're going to make sure the whole island stays clean like this right here. We don't want any garbage sitting around everywhere. It'll all get destroyed. We want everything done up clean and nice. So if you'd like to be a part of that, hit us up. We'll see about maybe putting together something like that on the next season. If you have any more questions about the Coliseum, how to work with the large parts. I really don't know what videos you guys need put out on the large parts unless you're asking questions. I'll try to cover the naval yard. It's a fun thing. I got many hours put into that over the last few months. Putting all those ships together, building all that with some galleons too. There's a lot of brigs and galleons. I think there's like 7 brigs and like 2, 3, 4 galleons, something like that. But yeah, if you have any questions about the Coliseum, or if you have any questions about the mountain resort, you know, hit us up in the comments. Like, subscribe, share, keep it all civil, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.